Okay, what's up, guys? This is Satyr. Again, today we're going to be working on our Scorched server that I've been tinkering around with a little bit. I'm streaming this one live and I'm recording it at the same time. So this one is live on my Twitch channel right now, as well as I'm recording it for later upload to YouTube to keep our series going. So we're going to go ahead and get the game up. And for those of you who are watching this live, um, you're kind of coming into this thing a couple of, and I've been going by days, but it's not like actual game days, it's just how many days I've played. You're coming into this server at about day 7. And again, if you're watching this on Twitch, by all means, throw some questions in the chat room, and I would love to try and answer those questions. Oh, come on. And of course, this game is stream heavy, so it does. And of course, this game is stream heavy, so it does. Okay, here we go. So I'll try to get you caught up once we get in game. Give it a second or two to render. Essentially, if you're watching this stream live, you're coming into this particular server actually about 5 or 6 days in to me playing it, not 5 or 6 game days. So what you're seeing in front of you has been done over a couple of hours over 5 or 6 days. So, of course, if you have any questions, just ask in the chat. And of course, I'm going to be narrating as I go because I am recording this and to upload later for those that are checking out the videos and not able to do the live stream. So as you can see, we've got a building established, and as I said when I left my video last time, I was actually going to be doing some work on the building and working on finishing up some of the stuff that we needed to get done. And so as you can see, we actually got a lot of the building done. I'll go upstairs and show you what I got accomplished. We got our glass windows in. I actually have them modified a little bit, and I'll show you what I've got in the settings. If you go into the transparency settings, oh, it looks like they reset. Interesting. Or I just didn't get around to setting this one. So we'll go ahead and set these now, unless it's not saving the settings. It could be doing that too. Okay, the settings are not staying for some reason, so we're not going to bother with it. I'm not quite sure why the server is, or why the server is rejecting the changes. So we're going to go ahead and go upstairs, and I'll show you the rest of the building and what we got accomplished there. If you remember, I had those automatic doors here. I actually took them out. They got to be a little bit of a pain, and I didn't feel like having to constantly open and close them. So I took them out altogether. And if you notice over here, we have a couple of new additions. These were 2 very high-level raptors that I actually tamed. I'm going to use them for breeders. I love the colors on them. They have some really amazing colors, so they should produce some very amazing raptors. And not to mention that, they have really nice levels on them. I haven't actually looked at the stats on the 2 because I haven't put a saddle on them yet. I'm not going to assign their points because I want to keep their static after tame stats so that I can keep track of them. So breeders, you typically do not put points in so you can keep track of all these stats unless you write it all down. I'm not going to be doing a very extensive breeder program, so I'm not going to write these down. I'm just going to leave them alone and not put points in. But as we can see, they have really high melee damage. For an off-the-tame raptor, this is pretty high, so that's really nice. That one's going to be real good for breeding. And again, you got 240 here with a fairly nice health and a fairly decent weight. 182 is okay. This one's got a lot higher weight and definitely a lot higher HP. So these two should make really nice raptors for just using for different things. And as you can see, we've got the rest of the building finished here. I left this open until I decide what I'm going to put up here. And I'm going to go ahead and go up to the 3rd floor. And of course, we've got our 3rd floor area. And then we'll go up to the roof. And so, of course, this is the roof. I'm going to have to put railing in at some point. I haven't bothered with it right now. So, that is definitely going to have to change. I'm just getting my grappling hook set up in case I have to take off after something. So again, it's been a little bit of a work. I've got a lot of stuff done. I didn't want to do anything on the barn until I got back to doing the next video because I did not want to. I want you guys to miss out on anything and how to do that ceiling and pillar construction. Down here, if you notice, I got all my guys lined up over here. If you notice, the Caprasuchus is gone. He actually got killed while I was out exploring a cave. I got to the bottom of one of the caves that I had not gone into before over near Carno Island. And for you that are not familiar with this, if you look at the map down at 8060, and so I'm reading left to right, there's a... Well, no, I'm thinking a different place. Where did I lose? Oh, never mind. I know where I lost him. I've been playing on my own server, so I got confused. Actually, where the mountain is that we went to originally to get crystal and ran into that rock elemental, there's a canyon, or that's the canyon that you see running up the middle of the map, actually has a cave in it underneath that mountain. And that's one of the island caves. There's only 3 on this map. And I actually went in there, went to the bottom of it, and I managed to get to the bottom of it and had my capper with me, and he ended up getting killed by a rock elemental that had snuck up on us in the bottom of that cave. We weren't expecting it to be there. So, of course, it was down there, a bunch of other stuff was down there, he got killed. So, the fortuitous situation was, we got this guy. And yes, he is sitting on the ceiling. This is an amazing creature right here. Okay. Oh, I'm not used to that happening. Let's go repair that real quick. I've never actually had the reusable grappling hook break. That is a first. I've used that thing a million times and I've never had it break. That is something different. I'm hoping they did not patch in something to fix people using those, or using the reusables. That will be very sad and unfortunate. So what we're going to do is try to repair this thing and see if it breaks again. I'm hoping that it doesn't break again, because if it does, then I'm guessing they put in a patch to fix people using the version of those. And since I'm looking now, I may as well go ahead and repair all of my tools and all of that stuff. Oh, that's why it broke. The grappling hook didn't break. I now realize what happened. The grappling hook itself did not break, my crossbow broke. So we'll go ahead and repair all of our tools, get that done. And then we'll just go ahead and I'm going to move all of this stuff back to the crafter anyway, so I may be overweight, but it's all going... Oh, I may as well leave it in there. So we'll go ahead and put all this back in there. And alright, let's try that again. A little less fail this time. So again, I wanted to introduce you guys to this guy, and the only way to get to him is to do this. So now, as you can see, yes, I am mounted and on the ceiling, but this is the beauty of this mount. He actually has the ability to walk on walls and ceilings. If I can get him from around in everybody. So actually, when you're riding him, and let's go outside. When you're on him, if you come up to a wall, for instance, this one right here, if you hold the jump button and walk up to the wall, or if you hold spacebar and walk up to the wall, he will cling to the wall. And then you can move in any direction and even sprint on the wall, and you can attack on the wall too. So he has several functions. So this is a great mount for cave exploration, and a great mount for this area because of all of the stuff that is in this area and all the stuff that I have to go get. Because there's sometimes drops everywhere, so I have to go up onto cliffs and up onto different places to get the... Oh, I guess they did work. Alright. I just thought it would be funny just to park him on the ceiling for the next video and let you guys kind of get a laugh out of that. But that's typically how you will find them inside of caves, is they will be hanging on the walls of the caves. So they're very tricky to spot. I actually killed a 105 of them that I didn't even know was there. I thought it was a different one. I was rather disappointed to do that. But he will definitely come in handy. We'll definitely find a use for him. Again, I'm going to look around out here. We've got a few things going, and I have not worked on this at all. As I said, I was waiting till the next video to do this. I've added a couple of lights to the outside of the base. So I've got one there, and I have one on this side, just above the doors. And I will probably, once I get the barn in, I will probably add one in over here somewhere. I'm imagining... that's a purple drop. I'll have to wait for that to come down and go after it. And again, I did do a little bit of hustling as far as seeds, because you can't get these guys on this server. These are of course the species X seeds, and you can't get those on this server. You have the plant species Y's, or the plant species Y, and you have these guys, the Y traps, and they're actually very useless. They sprout up, they don't do anything, they just sit there, and you collect these little spores off of them that you can throw down, and it's supposed to entangle creatures, and so they're kind of useless. So I traded in a bunch of those seeds and spawned in a bunch of the Plant X seeds, because they are in the drops. I just haven't got any yet. But I needed base defense because I keep having Caprisuchus form in this pond and jumping up here, and they're attacking my base and my critters. So I needed some sort of defense. I've also confirmed that the cave supply drops, or the little cave supply boxes, do not have tech gear in them, so I'm going to have to recode the drops for the server to get tech gear in the cave drops. And again, if you can look at the map, I went all over the other day. I went all the way out into the desert, ran a perimeter. I was farming for organic polymer and a few other things that I needed, and eventually I'm going to fill the map out as I go. I was also scouting for a T-Rex, and I've not found one of sufficient level yet to warrant going after. I saw a few Theranzinos, and again, we're going to tame one of those. Probably not tonight. I'm going to try to keep this video to 1 hour. I've got a long day tomorrow, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to work on this. I may end up having to move this guy because it's going to be in the way. And if I do, then what I'll end up doing is running off about 2 foundations from that pillar and doing this same setup down there. And actually, if I'm going to do that, I may as well go ahead and move it now. So I'll show you guys how to do this and why the S plus stuff is so good. We're going to destroy that, which is unfortunate, as I said. But we're going to go in and we're going to collect all of our fertilizer back out. I'm going to pick up this, and I'm going to pick this up. And eventually I'm going to have to get water over to that. Well, actually, no, I may not have to do that. Let me go ahead and pull these internal pipings. I only need to pull the 2 because that one is where the thing is. Alright, so we will come down here and we should have a water pipe somewhere right in this general area, I think. I never can remember because it is invisible, so unless you get right up on it like that, there it is. We want to show it so we know where it's at. And basically what we're going to do is we will run 2, let's see, yeah, we'll probably run 2 ceilings this way, put the ramp down so that it has a downward angle and can target anything out there. And I'll probably run it off of this one, I think, give it a little bit of a back cut. So let's start getting our ninja skills working here with our grappling hook. Not quite. Close enough. I can work with that. I usually have little pillars and little things that I put all over the place so that if you need to move around within the valley, you can just grapple and hook onto something and use it. So we're going to go ahead and pull some of our stuff back in here. We primarily need the wood and the fiber. I'm not worried about anything else. And we're going to go ahead and make those 2 foundations. Stone, or those 2 ceilings. I call them foundations because I'm fixing to get ready to make them into foundations. So we can actually go out 2 from the pillar, so I need 3. And I'll show you guys how to set this little guy up over here. So we're going to be coming back to this pipe. So what we want to do is we want to find our closest snap point, which is going to be there. And we're going to come out that far. And then that's actually going to work out great. That is amazingly nice right there. I could run it. I could actually put a separate, since the pipes run out there, I could actually set a separate pillar up with a ceiling on it and put the plant right on top of it, or right on that ramp angling down. But what I'm actually going to end up doing is this. These plants have a humongous range. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it on the ramp here, so it has that downward angle and it can cover the lake. And then eventually I will put another set of pillars, or another pillar and another set of plants on the other side of the lake over where that rock is. It's in the middle of the screen. And I'll put a plant there so it can cover back this way towards the base. So it'll actually be cross-firing the entire lake. And nothing will be in this area. Nothing will live long enough to be in this area because these plants will obliterate anything. The only downside to, I think, putting it here is it will not have access to sunlight. And I think if they're covered, they won't survive. So we may end up actually having to modify this plan. But for now, we're going to run with it. And if we have to modify the plan, we will. Base defense is just one of those things where you never can figure out exactly what you need to do. It's just something you have to run with. And getting early base defense out is basically paramount. Like I said, I have a couple of critters that keep jumping up here and getting everything. Now, if that is close enough, this will fertilize, and then we can go over here, and instead of having to find those again, we can just do this, and that hides the pipes for us. And I think you can actually hide the spigot itself. No. Alright. Well, that's fine. We'll just leave that there. We need to go get our seeds so that we can get those established. So I'm going to take one. I've got 8. That should be more than enough around here. By the time we really need them, I'll have some other form of defense, either auto turrets or tech turrets. And it's already a seedling, so there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, since that's moved and everything's ready to go, we're going to go ahead and run over here and grab this drop real quick. And hopefully, yeah, there's a Capra. So we're going to go ahead and kill him if I can get to him before he gets to me. It's a nice color on that. And since we're here, we're going to go ahead and collect up some metal. Do a little bit of maintenance while we're over here. Alright, let's see what we have. Hopefully we get, we got 20. And what I will do is, since we picked one of those up, I'll show you what they do. This is the plant species Y trap. This is what that entire plant species Y plant makes. So what I'll do is I'll show you what it does. So as you can see, I've hit it, and you see on the ground right there, you get that little flashy green thing like you're placing an object. Basically what you would do is, let's say for example this coal right here, you do this. Well, it's not going to let me plant it. That'll work. So you do that, and it's supposed to ensnare whatever is over it, but as you can see, the bug walked right through it, so not very effective. Again, that's why we usually don't use those. I trade them out for the Plant X seeds because that is kind of a useless thing. This poor little guy, I'm gonna get him out of there. We need the stone anyway, so it's a win-win. There we are. Go on, have fun. Okay, so back to the task at hand, because we have to get him inside, because he's the primary draw for predators right now, because he's outside. Let's see, we want to drop that in there, drop that in there, drop that in there. Give me just a minute to get everything sorted. And sorting gear is a constant thing. You have to constantly be putting stuff where it goes and making sure that you get things put away. I don't normally use these. I have canteens, so I'm holding on to those. I'll basically just put them into the scrap folder, and this is stuff that I'm going to break down when I get an industrial grinder going. I did keep, actually, yeah, I've got another tent. I think it's on one of my creatures. I've got a couple more patterns. I need to figure out what of these patterns I can get rid of. So let's go ahead and check that real quick. And as you can see, I'm starting to get a lot of stuff, so I'm going to have to start separating these out into folders of what they are, so I can start keeping track of what I have. I'm going to have to up my fortitude just a little bit too. I think we're going to split this, and we're going to put one in there and put some in here. And as you can see, I've got 2 forges going right now. This is about the quickest way to get you some metal, and you need a lot of it for what we're going to be building over the next little bit. I'm actually going to go ahead and open this door too. I think it's on automatic though. No, okay. When I'm in building phase, usually I leave the doors on manual, and I just open them and let them go. But I like to keep them on automatic because then something's not gonna sneak in behind you. And I'm just checking to see if we have any other odd eggs, and we don't. So we will go ahead and toss out these patterns that we have because they're patterns that we're not going to use, just to get rid of those altogether. And we are going to start working on this guy. Take a minute to get something to drink here. So I'm going to do some quick math to figure out what we need. We've already got a couple of these down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've already got 5 down, or 5 rows. So we've actually got 62 down because we have these 2 here. I wanted to go out 6, but 5 was good enough for now, so I just left it at that. But now we're going to go ahead and finish out, because now you guys are going to get to see how to employ your grappling hook and crossbow in building this thing and how it's going to come together. And it's going to be a little tricky. As Gollum says, it's going to be a little tricksy. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to continue doing a pillar under every ceiling on the perimeter. So as you can see, there's a pillar under every ceiling on the perimeter, and then the only part that's going to be holding up the middle is this. So there's 4 pillars here, and there's 2 pillars here. There's one, I think, about here, and there's one about right here, I think. So we'll only be putting in 4 more pillars out in that open expanse, and then the rest of them are going to be perimeter pillars. And the reason why I'm running a pillar under every ceiling is to make sure that if, say, for example, something gets over here, starts beating on our base, and they take out a pillar, the whole thing doesn't come down. It gives you a little redundancy. So it's just a built-in safety net. So let me do the math real quick on what we need. This is actually going to be a 12 by 12. So it's 144 minus the 62 that we already have. We need 82 ceilings. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get those crafting. Hopefully we have enough stuff for it. We may have to go out and do a run. The beauty of having to do all this stuff. So we need 82. So we got enough to do 100, so what we're going to do is go ahead and split that. Manually put in 82 and get those crafting. And we'll grab the first 10 that come off and go ahead and finish that 1 row. Because I'll actually have to separate out some of this stone to use for making pillars, so I'm going to go ahead and actually do that now. Oh, that messed us up, I think. Let's see how many we've got. Yeah, me pulling the wood out of there messed us up a little bit. So we've got 8 out of the 82. So we need 74. Actually, it was counting up pretty good, so I was right. I wanted to make sure, because sometimes when you pull, if you're crafting something and you pull materials out, sometimes it will mess up your crafting count down here, or it will stop crafting altogether, and then you got to go back and look and see where you were at. So we want those 10. We're going to grab those, and we need some thatch. So since it's not pulling from this stack, we're going to go ahead and grab it. And that should give us everything we need, yeah, for doing pillars. So we're going to go ahead and head out here and start working on getting this established. So what we're going to do is set it up where I can quick shift between things, so I can just walk in place. And you can see how quick, once you really, if you have the materials, see, we got a problem there. So something is not snapping right. So now we have to investigate, because we should be able to go out 2 from that pillar, and it is not letting us. So we're going to have to go under and investigate why. Come on. There we are. Alright, so we cannot go out 2 because it says we need foundation support. But our foundation is in place. So we need to figure out why that is not saying it's down. So we might end up losing that pillar. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up anyway. And then we'll replace it and see if it does it again. Sometimes you have trouble with these. You have to do this multiple times to get things to work. No. So see, it should come out this far because you have a pillar here. And you can go out 2 from a pillar, so it should go there. But it's saying there's no foundation support, even though that foundation is down. So we have a problem somewhere. It's picking up that foundation for this because it's allowing it to go out 2. But it didn't do that here. Odd. Alright, well then we will try this little thing and see if maybe it's just something about that particular pillar. Sometimes the game is weird like that. And see, we can't go that far because it's saying there's no pillar over there, but there's a pillar here, so that pillar should diagonally attach to this point. So we are having some weird ground issues. I wonder if it's because it's on this cliff. I wonder if I'm going to have to upgrade to large pillars. Oh, here we go. That's what I was talking about. And it's a shame I had to kill that because that was a very nice color. But he was attacking my guys and I didn't feel like tranking him at the time because I wasn't expecting him to be down here. He must have fell down from up there. So, note to self, we now have to figure out when we can put walls in or turrets. So we may end up putting a row of turrets up there. So now back to the malfunctioning pillar issue. Let's craft a large pillar and see if that is the problem. And throw a large pillar together. We'll set that down, see if we can get it to snap in right there. So we have a large pillar and we need it to go there. Now we should be, yes, that is the problem. So this pillar is actually going to have to change out to a, okay, I was hoping we would not lose that. So we cannot use medium pillars from this point on out because it's just not going to let us place them. Or they're not going to snap correctly, or they'll do something crazy like that and end up somewhere, which I have no idea where that pillar went. The case of the disappearing pillar. Large, there it is. Now make sure we break the right one. Okay. That's where you get tricky right there. So we're going to go ahead and craft another large pillar, and we're going to put it where this medium pillar was. No, that's not where a medium pillar was. Come on. Too late in the night for that kind of shenanigans. Okay, so now we should be able to run everything across. So we know it's going to be large pillars for the rest of the way out, and that'll fix that snapping problem. So we'll need another large pillar for right here. So let's go ahead and get that down. These are very expensive, that's why I was trying to use them very sparingly, but at this point I don't have a choice. So let's go ahead and go gather some more materials. What have I got? I got enough for a couple. I got enough stone for about 10 more large pillars. So let's go ahead and grab a few more ceilings. Alright, we'll get about half of what we got. Well, yeah, I need about half. There we are. So we'll take 36 and we'll go ahead and start. And that's still weighing me down pretty good because I've got a lot of stuff on me. It means I can't use my crossbow, so for now we're going to have to try to get these down without using the crossbow. So as long as nothing turns red on this row, we should be good. There we are, already. Okay, so we're going to have to put down a foundation somewhere. And since I'm underweight now, I can actually do this right. So let's drop down here. Well, let's figure out where our break is. Now we could not put one there, so again we have another issue with this. Why? Why did it put a medium there? That should have been a large. Okay, I know I crafted a large. Or did I destroy my large? Okay. There we go. Alright, now let's try that. Now we're good. Still don't have coverage there or there. So what we're going to have to do is get Trixie. So we know that we need to come out too. So this is what we're going to do. So as you can see, this starts to get a little tricky when you get out this far to be able to put these pillars in. So we know one's going to go there. And we still need one to put in right there. So let's see, we need to go 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have to go out 3. Well, let's see, from this row, yeah. From this row it's 2. So that would be 2 out from that row. So we need to go out 2, drop a pillar, and then come back and take out the temp one we're going to put in. And we're going to put in a temp one right here to run out where we need to, and then we'll put in more pillars there to make up for that. It would do that. Alright. Now you start to get to see the magic and the joy of S+. And why we grumble and complain whenever we have to place stuff with S+, because it does not like to snap where you want it. There we go. There are little tricks. If you pause for a second and let it flash phase a couple of times like you're going to place it, typically it works. Let's see, we have a thing going here. Yeah, so what we're going to do is, let's see, we need to finish this, so we're going to have to come down here, and this is where it's going to start getting a little in-depth, to say the least. So now we need to make a medium, because we're going to have to connect the large pillars to the ground. So we have to come down here and put that one in, so that connects that one. And we need another one for that pillar because it's sticking through the ground. And now it's connected into the rock there, so that's a full connection. And we're going to have to make a small one for there. We could probably get away with leaving it as long as you can place two ceilings out from a foundation, which we'll test it real quick. So we're going to go up here, and this is where this comes in handy. And as you can see, we can place two out from that one, so we don't have to actually put one in under here. So we can leave that foundation alone, even though it's protruding through. It's considered on the ground because you can go two out from it. So that one's good. So this one probably would have needed that. This one we probably could have gotten away with, but I'm just going to go ahead and finish it anyway. And just for general looks, I may go ahead and finish this one out, since we have the pillar crafted anyway. I'm just a stickler for that. Nobody's going to see most of this anyway, because by the time I get done, this is all going to be walled in, and you won't see it anyway. It's another layer. Wrapping your foundations with walls when you get them in place is just another safety layer. So eventually we'll actually run walls all the way down off of that set of ceilings all the way to the ground, so it'll wall in all of this. So if anything that attacks the base will have to actually get through the wall and then into the pillars to be able to knock any of this down. So now you can actually craft this structure from the ground if you like, or you can do it like I am, which is what I call my grappling hook ninja skills. And you learn these as you go along doing this stuff, because you have to really do some funky moves every now and then to be able to get to some of this stuff. So now we're going to remeasure. So we know this is the row we're working on here, because we're lining up with that. So if we're going, basically we're mirroring the back half of this thing. So from my crosshairs to the left is what we're copying from my crosshair to the right. So we're basically mirroring this foundation setup. So we know we need this row, which is already where our foundation is, and we need to go from that row, we need to go out 1, 2, and put down a pillar. So we've got we're here, we're out 1. Whoa, we're out 1 already. So we need to put a pillar under 2. So we need to put a pillar under that one. So we need another large and medium pillar. So we'll go ahead and get those going. And we'll try to get the large in first, like that. And then we'll try to get the medium in. There we go. So now we can go back, which I wish I had my demo gun. I don't think I have one in my inventory. Nope. Okay. So now we go back and we pull down these 2 pillars. So we'll pick this one up. And we'll wrench down and we'll pick this one up. And there we go. So now we have extended that out to the point where it needs to be, because this is the row of that foundation. We're out 2. Double check. It's always good. It takes forever, but it's always good to double check. So we're there, out 2. So we come here and we're here, out 2. Oh, wait a minute. Yep, we might have to move our foundation. So there's 1 full. So we're actually there 1. Yeah. So we're 1 full and right. So we're 1 full and there. Okay, so we're good. We got everything set up. Had to make sure. So now we go over here. And we are going to, the trick is going to be getting in these. Because see, we can, this pillar supports out to here, but since that's a foundation, it will support out to here. So that foundation supports 2, that pillar supports 2. So we actually have a lot of coverage for that. But what we've got to do is once we get out there, we don't have the pillars. So basically what I'm going to attempt to do is go ahead and run the perimeter, because that'll allow me to fill in the interior. So I'm at least trying to get that one in, because that's the last one of those we need. So we're going to do the one on this side. And that will provide the support out there that we need to be able to get this thing in. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to this row right here. After I hit the ground, we're going to come to this row right here, because that's our pillar row. And we need to go out a couple. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and look real quick. We're going to dangle for a second. So as you can see, we've got a foundation there, and we need to come to this set right here. Come out to here, and that's as far out as we can go. So our foundation, our pillar, needs to go on this foundation right here. So I got to remember it's the third one in from the end, because I'm going to have to go all the way to the ground to place this. So we're going to go ahead and drop that one there. And we're going to, actually I think, yeah, we'll go ahead and use the medium. It's overkill at this point, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. And since we're out one hole, all I'm going to do is just place a ceiling. I'm going to craft a quick large and medium again to cover this hole here. We're out of stuff for the large. Yes. Alright, so let's go gather some stone real quick, and we'll get that next large pillar crafted, because we are out of stone. And that's the beauty of this game, is if you run out of something, you just go out and get it. There we are. And we want to get it before we get too overloaded. So let's see. So now you're starting to see those ninja skills coming in. So I'll put that one down. And yeah, I'm thinking I might go ahead and convert that to smalls instead of wasting a couple of mediums. I'll waste 2 smalls. Mediums, a medium under there would just be overkill. So now we take this. No, I can reach the large from here, so I don't actually have to grappling hook up to it. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this. No, not you. We want the large first. There we are. Always make sure, before you pick up anything, always make sure it is what you want to pick up. Because, for example, if I pick up this small, or if I pick this small pillar up, anything on top of it, it will demolish. Because it's now considered one complete unit. So if you pick up the bottom, it's going to kill, or it's going to destroy whatever's above it. So you have to start from the top down. So it's like reverse engineering. But now that we have that established, we now have the middle established, so we can start working on the perimeter, which is something we really need to get down. This is going to take a better part of our time and materials, is getting these perimeter pillars down. Yeah, well, I could probably run a small under there if I had more stone. Yep, so I need a lot more stone and everything to start getting some of this stuff established. So we're going to go ahead and go grab another stack of stone so that we can make more pillars. I'm overweight by how much? Let's see. Not by a lot, but I can't use my crossbow. So we want to eliminate enough weight so that I can use my crossbow. I'm going to drop that 24 pounds of arrows. I don't need those right now. I'm going to drop my rifle, that, and that should be good. That should, yeah, that's got me from being over encumbered. And so we'll go ahead and we'll come out, and I'm going to put in this next couple of little pillars here. And this is the time-consuming part. Once you get the pillars in and you get this foundation established, the rest of this thing will just fly up. It's like building a house. Once you get the foundation down and you get the walls studded, the rest of the house just flies up. So once we get all this stuff down and established, then the rest of this thing will come together real fast. So again, since we can go out too, what I'm going to start doing is skipping every other one. So I'll actually put a foundation under there, and then I'll go out 2 more, put a foundation, and then I'll come back later and fill in these gaps where there are no foundations. It'll speed up crafting, or it'll speed up build time a little bit. And I won't have to spend so much time working on things. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is moving this guy, because I don't think he's going to get any sun under here, and I know they need sun to live. So more than likely I'll end up moving that again. So unfortunately I'm going to have to go tear it down and move it again. Like I said, I think I'm just going to go ahead and set those 2 up over there and get the crossfire going. And eventually I'll put one somewhere under here where it's not going to be blocked, where it can grow. Let's see. I need to go check and see how many pillars I am out. So let's go ahead and go over to this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're 7 out right now. So we got to go 5 more. So we got to put down 5 more perimeter pieces here. So we'll go ahead and... Nah, not where I want you. Why did you do that? Not good. Yeah, we're creeping up on the 1 hour mark for our recording. And again, you know, I want you guys to see this thing come together. I want you to see a lot of the work that goes into it, so that you can get an idea of what this kind of project takes. And if you want to tackle something like this in your game, you have a better idea of what it takes. And I think we're going to need a small, yeah we are, we're going to need a small down here. So as you can see, these pillars start increasingly getting larger and larger, and you start needing more and more materials in order to reach your next goal. But we're almost to where we need to be as far as size and what we want to do. So didn't quite get it where I wanted it. I didn't quite shoot fast enough. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we are almost where we want to be. So when we put the pillars on here, we will be officially, we will almost officially be 12 out. So this side will be completed basically, and then all we have to do is go across the back and up the other side. And it's actually being nice to me tonight. It's letting me snap them right in where they need to be. Normally I would have to fight with this for hours to get this thing where it needs to be. So again, if you're watching the stream, by all means, you know, I have a chat room on my Twitch channel. If you have any questions, if you want to throw something out there, an observation or something that you would like to know about as far as the game goes, by all means shoot me a question and ask. Again, this is being done live, so I'm monitoring the chat stream and watching for questions or for anybody to post anything that they're curious about, you know, and it helps fuel ideas. It helps give me things that I know people are interested in seeing or wondering about. Because I know a game like this can sometimes be rather confusing if you have no idea what's going on. So if you have any questions about the idea of the game or the basis of the game, you know, just ask and throw some stuff out there. But as far as the recording goes, I'll probably knock that off here in a little bit. You guys have seen a pretty good bit of this construction and how this thing goes. As far as my normal video recording and my normal stream. So probably what I'll do is go ahead and continue with trying to get this perimeter down and get all this done for the barn. And probably the next video that I record, because I'll stay streaming for a little bit longer, and probably the next video I do for the YouTube will be finishing or completing the barn, and let you guys see how that comes together and how this whole thing came together. And again, as you can see, you start getting your feel for the crossbow and the grappling hook down and what you need to do. And like I said, you start really developing and honing those grappling hook ninja skills. And you eventually get to where you can do some wild stuff. I can actually climb one of these walls or climb out of this canyon with the grappling hook. I've actually been on top of, I think it's that cliff over there. I've actually been all the way up on the top of that cliff by just using grappling hook. So, I got another drop, so we're going to go after that real quick. But as you see, as you learn to use your tools, learn to use your grappling hook, you can get up to a lot of places that you normally might not be able to get. Hey, we actually have some people on the stream. And I seem to have a hosting now, so thank you for that hosting there. I think it's Babaloose, so thank you for that. Get me out there a little bit, and I hope you guys don't mind my rambling. As I said, I'm recording this live and broadcasting it live. So as I'm recording it, I have to kind of narrate things that I'm doing, and once I actually stop the recording, I'll probably switch to more sporadic commentation, or commenting, or however you want to call it, or narration, and focus on finishing out this thing. And again, this is a lot of work to build this barn. It is an absolutely massive structure. I've got one on another server that I play on that I've built, and and we are out of materials again. So we will go ahead and that is probably why I'm going to break out my demo gun here in just a second. Well, you got to keep climbing up there to change out stuff. So there you go. Now you're starting to see the joys of S+. Normally, when the mod functions correctly, it is an absolutely amazing mod. S+ will save your life in many aspects, but a lot of times you will have to deal with much of that. You try to place something and it goes several places that you do not want it. It will end up on top of your ceilings, it will end up on the ground, it will end up anywhere other than where you needed it to be. So we'll go ahead and go get some more stone. I'm probably going to bump my fortitude up a little bit more because, of course, having the glass windows in here, I'm overheating easily. So the game is not forgiving as far as that. But as I said, we're probably going to go ahead and call the stream itself. I'm going to pull a few more of those out. And let's see, I need a little bit more stone. Let's do half a stack. Definitely need some more wood, so let's go half a stack of that, and we'll pull some more thatch, probably half a stack. That should be more than enough. So as far as the recording goes, I'm going to go ahead and end that out now. It's been about an hour. I'll try and get this uploaded to YouTube. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Again, this is day 7, I think it is, day 7 or day 8 for playtime. Again, I'm going to go ahead and finish out the floor of this thing and get the floor of the barn established and fully set up, and then I'll start working on the walls, and then from there we'll start showing you guys how to set the behemoth gates, how to get all that stuff in, and start working on that. But I'm going to keep the stream going for a little bit longer and chat with my new friends and anybody else that happens to pop in and post a question, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. So as far as the Satyr's Run YouTube stream goes, I'll catch you guys next time. Probably do another recording tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night. We'll have to see. Rialto will be here, so it really depends on how tired we are and you know how everything looks tomorrow after I get through with everything. So hopefully I will catch you guys later.